ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। This master knowledge has an abiding presence. This master key to the whole universe has an abiding presence not only in Vedanta but also in all branches of knowledge. When we study physics, we want to get to that thing because of which the whole body of knowledge, the science called physics, ticks. If we study mathematics, we want to get to the root of that because of which the whole body of knowledge called mathematics is there. This is true in every branch of knowledge. Scientists, researchers, scholars go mad trying to reach to the bottom. Even in the field of psychology, like what is the cause of this anger? What is the cause of this pain? What is the cause of this sorrow? This becomes a very important thing. So that means in every human being there is a detective, an inner detective that wants to go to the root cause of whatever that subject matter of the study is. Vedanta also goes to the root cause. The only difference is that the root cause of sorrow, which Vedanta identifies, is the root cause of everything. Is the root cause. It's the causeless cause. And that's why it makes this knowledge special. In the Upanishads also, the common question which the student asks in every Upanishad is, tell me that thing, knowing which everything is as well known. How is that possible? If I know one thing, how can I know the other thing? If I know botany, I do not know biology. If I know biology, I do not know something else. If I know biochemistry, then I do not know some other branch of knowledge. And the branches of knowledge are getting more and more and more and more specialized, not less and less. I do not know anything. And therefore the thing we have to understand is very, very important. That if I know the word and meaning without knowing the essence, if I know the word and meaning without knowing the essence, what I know is literally a heap of nothing. This is what it is. That's why the researchers go mad. That's why the scientists go mad. Because somewhere deep down, they know that their knowledge is incomplete. That's why they keep getting PhDs. One PhD knocks off the previous PhD. That's how you get a new PhD. By disagreeing with everything that everybody says. Whoever has said in the past, you disagree with them, and then that makes for a new PhD. And therefore, the samsara goes along without any help really. And we keep digging in the wrong place. We keep looking in the wrong place. We keep looking, like the grandma's embroidery needle which got lost. She was looking for it, and very soon a big crowd gathered. And then what happened? The crowd gathered and then started to look for the needle. Half an hour later, nobody found the needle, and then what happened? Then they needled the grandma. Where did you lose the needle? Where did she lose it? In her house. Where was everybody looking for it? In the village square. Why? Why were they looking for it in the village square? Because that's where there was light. Indian village. No other electricity anywhere else. Now, of course, India is electrified, but this was before that. This was a long ago story. We are digging in the wrong place. When everything that we dig leads to a dead end and leaves us deadened to any other possibility, leaves us helpless, hopeless, and helpless in the face of just this madness of not finding what one is looking for, one has to get clever. One has to see that one is taking a flight, the wrong plane, and getting to more detours, more dead ends, without reaching the destination. Destination is one. Sadhanas are many. Sadhanas are also not many, but we think they are many. Destination is one, it has the correct sadhana for it. And after getting bored, getting tired, getting frustrated, getting upset with everything, everybody in the universe, one finally comes kicking and screaming to Vedanta. Rarely out of one's own volition. Usually one is an unwilling participant, dragged by another. After a while, one gets to understand what is it that was missing. What was missing was what is called Dashamaha. Dashamaha means what? 10th man. Yes. The 10th man is you who forgot to count yourself. That is the 10th man. The story comes from a group of people, brahmacharis, who went on a picnic from the ashram. And one of them appointed himself as the monitor. Guru was not willing to send them. But this fellow said, no, I'll bring everybody back safely. Hey Guru, please let us go, please. Okay. You had to take a ferry. The ashram was on a river. So the boys went to the other side, participated in the fair. It was a wonderful affair, and they had fun pushing each other on the water from the boat and then climbing back in, etc. Then on the way back, as they were getting ready to get into the boat, the monitor, self-appointed monitor, said, I have to make sure everybody is on board. Let me count. Not terribly bright he was, because he counted from 1 to 9 and said, oh, we lost the 10th one. Now we know why the Guru was not willing to send them. Yes, I have always wondered that. Now I understand. Because the second one said, you just show off, you're a big show off, you don't know anything, get side. Sibling rivalry. And then the other one counted also very smartly, came up with the number 9. And so the third and the fourth. And now we see why the Guru was not very happy to send them on their own. Then, of course, it being an Indian story, it being an Indian village, there's always a sadhu walking around. And what does the sadhu say? The sadhu in 1 second surmises what happened, makes them all stand, counts. By this time they are crying in a huddle. They're all saying, oh, we lost our friend in the fair. One person said, another person said, no, he drowned when we were playing water sports. And then, after everybody was the 10th man who was lost, as though, is now the 10th man who was found, as though. This is what is missing from the research, from the scholarship. You are missing. You haven't featured yourself. You are the essence, the truth of everything that lends its presence to everything, that animates everything from being a dead Jagat to a live and alluring Jagat. Who, me? Are you sure you're referring to me? Yes, you. But I'm small. I'm just worried about rocking the boat. I don't take initiative. How can I be the missing thing? How can I be that thing which animates the entire universe? To this we would say, you as Satchidananda. Not you as this body-mind-sense complex identified with which one cries, but you as Satchidananda, you as the truth of the entire universe of names and forms, and which you have to discover as yourself. So here is a very funny thing. Satchidananda looking for Satchidananda. Satchidananda missing Satchidananda. Satchidananda mourning for Satchidananda. Satchidananda trying to cook up a huge thing without the main ingredient, which is what? Satchidananda. And so, Upadesha Sahasri begins with an ode to Satchidananda. This kind of an ode is called Mangalacharanam. Mangalacharanam means the auspicious notes of auspiciousness or an auspicious beginning. Mangalacharanam. The auspicious beginning is important because without which, what happens? Nothing happens. A prayer is something that makes the work, it ensures that the work is complete. Why do I want the work to be complete? I want people to read it. I want to finish the work. I want people to read it. I want people to understand it. I want people to spread the word. This is why I want it to complete. A writer, a sage of the caliber of Adi Shankaracharya does not need to pray. He is the prayer. He is the Bhagavan who has understood who he is. He doesn't need to pray. His sankalpa is enough because he is what is called Satya Sankalpaha. Satya Sankalpa means the one whose intentions are already blessed because they don't want anything for themselves. So whatever they want for others comes true. This is Satya Sankalpa. He is already Satya Sankalpa. He has understood the cause of sorrow. He has let go. He has shed the wrong notions about the I, about the universe, about what is called God, Ishvara. Adi Shankara is free. And how did he shed all these things? The wrong notions? He shed the wrong notions by studying the Upanishad. Okay? Yeah, that's why it is called Upanishad. It makes you shed. Shadalru means that. Makes you shed. By shedding the wrong notions about myself in relation to the universe of names and forms, the Jagat, myself in relation to the source of universe, Ishvara. By straightening these connections, by straightening and understanding the nature of these connections, that all this is verily one, that is how a person sheds the wrong notions. And Adi Shankara, he is a Brahmavit, he is a Shrotriya, he is a Brahmanishtha. All these are various words for the enlightened one. So he knows. He doesn't need to pray. Just an intention is enough. Yet he prays to show the way. Yet he prays to show that he is still one among everyone, one amongst all of us, even though he is not at all one amongst all of us. But he shows that because as long as one has a body, there is behavior. There is good, conducive behavior, and then there is just simple, plain, bad behavior to which I subject myself and others frequently. So what is this good behavior? Good behavior means behavior according to dharma, good behavior. Bad behavior is that which flouts dharma. Dharma is not merely doing what is right and refraining from what is wrong. Dharma has many, many components. And out of this, there is one particular component that we will highlight now, and the other components will take up later as the text will allow. Vishesha Dharma. Vishesha Dharma means assuring, following Vishesha Dharma means assuring that my actions are in tandem with what is appropriate for every situation, every time, every place. Why? Because I don't want to be standing out like a sore thumb due to my behavior. I don't want to attract attention. Or maybe I do, but I refrain from doing that. For the sake of a community peace, for the sake of keeping peace, for the sake of being myself, being myself in the highest way possible. Vishesha Dharma is not about right and wrong. It is about inappropriate and appropriate. If Adi Shankara had not prayed, nobody would have said anything. But by having a prayer, he, in one shot, cuts off all the naysayers and the competitors and the people who did not have Shraddha in him. By not standing out as somebody who is a jnani. Because if one is a jnani, one does not put a placard on one's neck and say, I am a jnani, and stand on a hillock. One doesn't need to do that. One quietly blends in, so much so that one is in disguise of a commoner, of a lay person who doesn't even know V for Vedanta. That is how the jnani behaves. One with everything. That oneness is reproduced on the empirical level as well. Oneness with everything. I don't disturb others. I don't allow myself to be disturbed by other people, other forces, other anything. I go with the flow. Even if the flow goes against me, what does the river do when there is a big rock in front of it? A big mountain in front of the river comes. The river is just flowing. It wants to find its destiny, the ocean. It has a place to go. What does the river do? It goes around the obstacle, goes around the mountain. It has many options. It can say, I'm not moving. Why this mountain came in front of me? I was doing the right thing, I was going, I'm not moving now. That would cause a lot of havoc. It would cause a flood in the place where it is. Or it could say, I'm going back to the glacier. That also is not really an option. I'm turning back and going. It simply goes around the obstacle. And this way, even before we study the prayer verse, we see that in this prayer is so much humility. Just the fact that he wrote the prayer, there is humility. And that is something which is to understand and to emulate. Because when we see the lakshana of the jnani, they become sadhanas for us to emulate, for the rest of us. They become the practices. They become how I grow. It's not enough to just be a jnani wannabe. I have to behave like a jnani wannabe. This is the grace of this prayer. Even before we study it, it has already blessed us by showing us the mettle of Adi Shankara. In following Vishesha Dharma, there is no loss. There is no loss at all for him. In being one of everyone else, he's just following the rules of the time. The specific rules of the time were that a book has to have a prayer. The prayer can be of many kinds. It can be overt, it can be covert. One kind of a distinction. An overt prayer, an example of an overt prayer is what we have here, right in front of us. Tasmai namaha. You look at the last word, namaha. Salutations unto that. What that is, we'll see presently. But salutations unto that. Tasmai namaha. Then, that is one thing, one kind of a distinction. And what's an example of a covert prayer? The first sutra of Panini, Vriddhiradaich. It has nothing to do with prayer. Vriddhi, which in common parlance means a growth, pragati, increase. But here in Paninian language, Vriddhi is the second level of strengthening of the vowel. When E goes to I, this is called Vriddhi. What about the first level of strengthening? That is also there. That is called Guna. Actually, if one is a grammar teacher, you would first teach the first level of strengthening and then go to the second level of strengthening. But here he flips the script in order to make this sutra, which is having the technical name Vriddhi, given to the second level of strengthening, to make it into a covert prayer. Vriddhi syat. Let there be an increase, meaning let this be completed, let this be read, let this be understood, let this be assimilated and enjoyed. Do we now wonder why, out of all the 9 systems of grammar, only the Paninian one has survived? Perhaps because of the force of this prayer. We don't know. That's an example of a covert prayer. Then we can look at the prayers from some other angle as well. Sometimes the prayer is to praise the Guru, because the knowledge that we have is sampradaya centric. Sampradaya is the unbroken chain of teachers and students who then become teachers and who have their own students, and those students who become teachers in a single unbroken line. Now, the prayer for the Guru is very powerful, because this is the Guru from which I gained the knowledge, and this Guru is all in all for me, because without this Guru who opened my eyes to see that I was not this, I was not what I thought myself to be. Instead, I am the whole, I am free. I owe this Guru everything. So the dedication of the prayer is also to the Guru. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmani Savilasa Mahamoha Grahak Grasaika Karmani. Shankarananda, Guru of the Panchadashi writer, Swami Vidyaranya. Or it could be Lord Shankara, who is of the nature of Ananda, that also we can say. But here it is for Guru. Why? Because of what follows later. This Guru is Eka Karman, has only one job. Oh, what is that job? To teach. And what is that teaching? The teaching is that which removes the samsara, the mohabdhi. The Guru is the shark that eats up the Atma Ajnanam, removes the ocean of delusion from the mind of the student. And so here there is a prayer to Guru. Sometimes the prayer is to one's Ishtadevata. Ishtadevata means the deity, Bhagavan, in a particular, invoked in a particular way, invoked in a particular manner. A favorite deity. This is allowed in the Hindu tradition because this is how we learn to connect to Bhagavan. Certain forms of Bhagavan are pleasing. Certain forms of Bhagavan in the Hindu iconography, you can say, are not very pleasant. And then we have our own subjectivity. We have mummy issues. We have daddy issues. Sometimes we have mummy and daddy issues. But there is a favorite Bhagavan for everyone possible. What do I do if I have daddy issues? Devi, Bhagavati. That's what I go. I go to the mother in the form of she who is the creatrix of the entire universe. Beautiful Devis are there in the tradition. Oh, but what do I do if I have mummy issues? Then I go to daddy as Bhagavan. No problem. Shiva, Vishnu, so many. Ganapati, Subramanya, so many forms and names are there. Why are you quiet? Well, I have both mummy and daddy issues. No problem. Other forms of Bhagavan are also there. Like Hayagriva, half horse, half human. Narasimha, half lion, half human. This is something wonderful. Very, very wonderful. And even sage Dadhichi, who teaches in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, wears the head of the horse when he teaches because he is afraid of incurring a curse by Indra. I told you, Indra is a little temperamental. We have to watch out. So, the followers of Hayagriva or sage Dadhichi can say, we got the knowledge from the horse's mouth. Maybe that's how the expression came, we don't know. So much fun. So, Ishtadevata. Like that we have Ishtadevata. Sri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram. There is one example of a prayer. Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Ishtadev, worship of Ishvara in the opening prayer in the form of Hari, Vishnu, the one who takes away all papas. And I want my papas to be taken away before I study Atma Bodha, before I study Aparokshanubhuti, all these texts, before I study, I want the papas to go. Because papas means obstacles. Papas means even though you're sitting in front of the best teacher in the whole world, like Lord Brahmaji in Brahmaloka, still the mind is distracted. Still the mind dwells on petty things. Still I'm not able to focus. Still I'm stewing in fear, in anger. This is the result of papa. So I want the papa to go. So I say, Hari. Hari means hurry up and take it away. That is what it is. Then the third form of prayer is Swarupa Nirupanam, where the straight away, without looking for Ishtadevata, without trying to invoke the Guru, the author goes straight away to look at the nature, to understand or laud the nature of the Atma. And Adi Shankara's favorite Devata, Adi Shankara's Ishta Devata is this Atma, really. It is everything for him. So the first verse is praise for this Atma. Tasmai Namaha. Unto that Namaha. Very, very beautiful. And so, what is the reason for this Swarupa Nirupana, to show this? The reason is to make it easier for oneself. Because you see, in Sanskrit, brevity is considered very, very exalted. The less you talk, the better it is. The less you talk, the more people want to hear you. So you say only as much as needed and at the time that is needed, and then you keep quiet the rest of the time. And so, garrulous speech, which is full of verbiage. Verbiage means verbal garbage, verbiage. Okay? Yeah. Garrulous speech, full of words, is therefore not encouraged. And if a verse accomplishes being a prayer and also showing the nature of this text and showing the subject matter and who is going to study this, all these things, it is considered a very effective verse because it is Vishwato Mukham, meaning it has many, it is looking in many directions and it is covering a lot of ground. Such prayers are considered very superior. And very few people can actually compose such prayers. Adi Shankara, of course, is one of them. He does this in the Taittiriya Upanishad too. The beginning of the Taittiriya Upanishad has a similar prayer to this. Yasmat jatam jagat sarvam yasminneva praliyate. Like this he prays. Yena dharyate sarvam tasmai jnanatmane namaha. Yena dharyate chaiva tasmai jnanatmane namaha. Unto that Atma which is of the nature of jnanam. Jnanam means self-shining. It doesn't need to be brought to light by some other source. What do you mean it doesn't need to be brought to light by another source? I'll ask the question I ask every time I come here. Are you here? The answer is few and far between. Yes. Even though I ask the question every single time. Let's try again. Are you here? Yes. Abba, thank you. This is an undeniable yes. You cannot say no. Even if you say no, you are advertising the fact that you are here. So, that is jnanam. I know I am. And I know I am. I am means I exist. And my existence is not known to my grandfather. My existence is known to whom? Before anybody else. To me. I don't have to depend on the parents, the grandparents to make sure that I know I exist. I don't need a certificate which say, here is your certificate of existence. I don't need anybody to validate my existence. I am self-existent, self-validated, self-effulgent, self-luminous I. This is jnanam, knowledge. And in fact, the word knowledge doesn't do justice at all. This is what is called jnanam. I know I am. And this makes me a knowing being. And what kind of a knowing being? A knowing being who knows everything. How can I know everything? Up till now I was with you, but when you said I know everything, I have to object. I am a knowing being who knows everything. Why? How? Simply because I know what I know, and I don't know, and I know what I do not know. What I know plus what I do not know is what? Everything. What is everything? What is all? What I know plus what I don't know is all. So when I say I know that, when I say I do not know so many things, I do not know Greek, means what? I know I do not know Greek. It's a knowing being whose knowing never becomes not knowing at this ontological level. Not at the level of objects, but at the level of the subject, it is a knowing being. Many objects it may not know, but it knows that it doesn't know. So it knows that it doesn't know, so that means you cannot say it doesn't know. I am this knowing being, self-shining being. And this self-shining being is not needing anybody else to validate its existence. Self-luminous, self-existent I. And this self-existent I is the cause of the universe. Because both the raw material which constitutes this universe and the one you can call the creator, because of whom this universe exists, are both non-separate from this knowing being. That's why this knowing being is without a second and is all-pervading and is everything. And that is called Jnanatma in the Taittiriya Upanishad. And there he says, Yasmat jatam jagat sarvam, from which causeless cause the entire world of names and forms has come. This whole jagat has come. Now it has come, where will it go? To that, unto that only it will go back. Unto that Jnanatma, unto that knowing being, which is the truth of me, which is the truth of Ishvara, unto that only it will go back. Yasminneva praliyate. Yena dharyate. And okay, between being born, jata, janihi, the coming to life, and then praviliyate, between the life and between the creation, so to speak, and the dissolution of the universe, what is there? Sthiti. Somebody is taking care of it. Yena dharyate, by whom everything is upheld. Tasmai, unto that my salutations. Here this Jnanatma is being invoked as Ishvara. That Ishvara is non-separate from me, who is this shining self, who is consciousness, not the assemblage of this body-mind complex, and unto that Namaha. Very beautiful. And a similar prayer we have here, very similar with some differences. Let us chant, let us see. Chaitanya Sarvagam Sarvam. Did you have breakfast? Yes? Okay, let me hear it. Chaitanya Sarvagam Sarvam. Sarvabhuta Guhashayam. Yat Sarva Vishayatitam. Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha. The first word is Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam Yat, that which is in the form of Chaitanyam. What is Chaitanya? Self-effulgent I. Chetayati, that which brings everything to light. Itself self-lit, that which brings everything to light. And the common example given is sunlight. The sun brings everything to light. But do we need a flashlight to light up the sun? No. We do not need a flashlight to light up the sun. The sun which brings everything to light is what? Self-lit. Similarly, this all-knowing I, Chaitanya, the I in you, the I in me, the I in he, she, it, they, whatever is there. It's the same I. How can you say it's the same I? Why not say it's different I? Okay, say it is different I. Oh, you don't mind? No, I don't mind at all. Oh, so I can say that each thing is different from other things. Yes, you are free to do so. What will happen? Nothing will happen, that's all. Because that is our capital. I already see everything as different from me. I already see each being as separate from me. I already see that the whole world is out to get me. Every single person is against me. This is my perception. The perception is not the reality. Thank God. So if I go away thinking each person is different, each thing is different, then I will be mired in that subjectivity. I will be mired in that multiplicity. Taking the multiplicity of names and forms to be the truth of myself does not make me happy. In fact, that is the cause of sorrow. It is an effect of self-ignorance, as we will presently see. So therefore, I have no other option. Remember the story yesterday I told of the drowning person grasping for straws. So the Shastra comes in the form of a straw, and in fact it's not a straw. It is that which reveals the truth of me to myself. But thinking I have no choice, I grasp at it because I really have run out of all choices. The more I try to be happy, the more miserable I get. The more I try to be calm, the more angry I get, and so on and so on and so on. I'm sick of this state of affairs. And being sick of this state of affairs, I want things to change. And the only way things will change is if I understand the truth of myself as everything. Because that's in keeping with the desire. I want to be everything. I want to be one with everything. I want to be one with what is called God. I want to be one with other beings. Even the person who says, I hate everybody else, wants desperately to be loved by everybody else. In other words, I want people to love me even though I hate them. This is the reality. This is how the teaching has to proceed. And here, Chaitanya means that I, which is experienced all the time as I am. Then we give it some tadka. Tadka means seasoning. I am what? Dot, dot, dot. Fill in the blanks. What comes first? Miserable. I am angry at you. I am upset. Oh, now I'm happy. Oh, it's gone. Okay. This is what the I is. The I attaches to the perceptions, much like the crystal, which is free of all colors, all shapes, all forms, taking on whatever color it is proximal to. As though taking on, because really it hasn't taken on, it is free, it's clear, it's always free and clear of anything that you put behind it. Similarly, the Atma, which is one, which is the truth of myself, is clear of not only all emotions, but all forms, all names. It is one. How do we know it is one? By the study of the Shastra. Shastraika Pramanam. The Shastra is itself the proof. We don't need any other proof. We don't need to prove the Shastra. Why? Because that means we will be using vitiated means of knowledge, finite means of knowledge to understand the infinite. So this is Chaitanyam. And what is this, the nature of this Chaitanyam? There are some adjectives. Let us look at that. Everything that ends in is adjective. Sarvagam, adjective to who? Chaitanyam. Sarvagam, sarvatra gacchati iti sarvagaha, tam sarvagam. It goes everywhere. What do you mean it goes everywhere? Goes everywhere. Right now, if you close your eyes and think of a distant country like India, we've already gone to India, in a way. You recall your trip or you find out some nice things you enjoy there, you close your eyes, you're already there. And the same Chaitanya which is in me is in this person, is in that person, is in a tree, is in a mountain, is in a rock, is in the ocean, is in the five elements, is in everything. Not even in, as everything. It's the essence of everything, it's the truth of everything. Therefore it is Sarvagaha, Sarvagam, everywhere it is. Not a single entity is without this awareness, which is self-lit, which is everything. Oh, but there are many things which are not self-aware. There is actually not many things. There is nothing except you is self-aware, really. No, but many things are not aware of themselves. Yes, true. And like this microphone into which I speak, it does not talk, it only amplifies my voice. Thank God, really. Because it will say, I have listened to many Vedanta teachers, now it's my turn to teach. Then Arsha Vidya will have to announce a camp by Acharya Mike. Okay, that's what. Who is this Acharya Mike? Microphone. So, that doesn't happen. If I use a spoon to eat my food, the spoon doesn't say I'm hungry and by the time I take it to my mouth, it's already gone. Certain things do not broadcast the Chaitanyam, but that doesn't mean the Chaitanyam is not there. The antennae to broadcast the Chaitanyam in the form of a subtle body being absent, they cannot broadcast it. Therefore, a rock does not say, I rock. Okay, you can say, I rock. Rock cannot say, I rock. But the rock also is what? Chaitanyam. And what is this Chaitanyam? Chaitanyam means it is all pervasive. If it is all pervasive, Sarvagam, if it is all pervasive, it has to be what? Existence. It has to be existent in order to pervade. How can I do any pervading if I am not there? It is silly to say the non-existence pervades every aspect of the universe. How silly it is. For something to pervade, it has pervade means go here, go there, be present. And see, the word be present means what? We are already talking of existence. It has to be in order to pervade. And this beingness and the all pervasion are inextricably connected. Completely, totally interconnected. When you say Chaitanya, you say Sat. Chaitanya, Chit. Chit brings in Sat. Chit means aware. That awareness, that knowledge, that knowing being. Then when we say knowing being, we are acknowledging that the knowing has to rest in a conscious being. Knowledge has to rest in a conscious being. And that beingness is existence, and the knowingness is what is called Chit, Chaitanya. And then to make it even further clear, he says, Sarva Bhuta Guha Shayam. Sarveshu Bhuteshu Guhayam Shete. It is residing, abiding in all beings, starting with the 5 elements. Bhuta is 5 elements. Bhuta and Bhautika, things that have come out of the 5 elements, like even this body is called Bhautika. Before that, what it is called? Bhuta. Bhuta Bhautika. Elements and elementals. Sarva Bhuta, everything. Chaitanyam, Sarvagam. Oh, one more thing is there. Sarvam, it is everything. It doesn't just pervade everything, it is everything. It is one with everything. Non-separate from everything. There is no thing in the universe that has not been touched by this consciousness, this awareness, that is all knowledge and is the source of existence. And which is infinite, which never comes to an end. Therefore, it is forever. In fact, it is the forever for which I am looking. Forever. Which I am in search of. That forever is this Chaitanya. That's why it is Sarvam. It is everything. It is the truth of everything. It is what makes everything tick. Sarvagam, taking on the dharma. Sarvam should have been enough, but Sarvagam here means taking on, as it were, the dharma, the attributes of various objects, events, etc. That it broadcasts and manifests, even like the crystal, broadcasts and manifests various colors without taking on a single hue. This is the idea. Sarvagam Sarvam. Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam. Guhayam Shete. Cave sleeping, that which sleeps in a cave. This Chaitanya in every being sleeps in the cave. Ayyo, what are we talking about? Where is this cave? Cave is called heart. Heart is the cave. Why is the heart the cave? Heart is the cave because the cave is a scary place for most people. Unless you're a sadhu, cave is a scary place. Cave means what? Dark. First thing we hear, even imagination, even if you've never seen a cave, you've heard about it, first word that comes is, oh my God, it's dark. And then some dripping water somewhere. You don't know where. And maybe there is an odor, mold, mildew. It's stuffy, not enough air. Not a very nice place. I have to feel myself. Feel around and go because I'm lost in this cave. The heart, the antahkarana, is called guha because it shares a lot of similarities. Dripping is the sorrow and the hopelessness. And there may be a hidden tiger in the form of unbridled anger ready to let loose. Rrr, it's coming out. And then what else is there in the cave? Stalactites and stalagmites of doubt and despair. Bats in the form of fear flying overhead. Flap, 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 flap. Bhagavan, where are you? Bhagavan is also right there. But for the lack of light, is not illumined, therefore not seen. That Bhagavan is Chaitanyam, that Bhagavan is you. It's the indweller. Therefore we say, what do we say? We do the camphor arati and say what? Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi. There the sun doesn't shine. That's the cave. Oh, maybe we have moonlight. No. Maybe we have stars. No. Maybe we have fire. No. Lightning. No. Any other, maybe we have artificial lights. No. And to that cave, I show it a small little camphor lamp. And it lights up not only the cave, but the Bhagavan who is unaffected by fear and the drip, 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 and the stalactites and the stalagmites and the bats of despair, doubt. Nothing. This Bhagavan is right there, unaffected. Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam is in every being, hidden in all beings. Hidden means what? Hidden by this underbrush in this cave. In the cave there is lot of vegetation. You can't see. First of all, there is no light. And the light is in the form of the Shastra. And what does the light do? It illumines. Similarly, exposing myself and immersing in the Shastra illumines this inner Bhagavan for me. But why does it say sleeping? Bhagavan is sleeping? Chaitanyam is sleeping? If Chaitanyam were really sleeping, then we would have no Vedanta. I would be out of a job. Yes. No Vedanta, no teaching, no ashrams, nothing. But we are able to stay relevant as Swamis. Why? Because of the fact that Chaitanyam never goes to sleep and is self-effulgent. That is why. But here it says, Guha Shayam. Is it metaphorical? To think of it as metaphorical would not be wrong, but it would also not do justice to Adi Shankara. It is as though sleeping means, for want of recognition, I think it is sleeping. What shines are the objects of delight and the objects of fear shine in this cave, alternatively, driving me mad. What shines is what I want to be, what I want to have, what I want to get. And then what shines is what I want to get rid of, what I don't want. All these things shine. The light because of which these two shine is forgotten, taken for granted. It's as though the light is sleeping. This light of all lights is as though sleeping. See how brilliant it is. How brilliant the first verse is. How brilliant this prayer is. Awesome. And so it's as though the light is sleeping. And then this light, if we think that this Chaitanyam is confined to the body, mind, sense complex, we are wrong, because it is beyond all objects. All objects cannot be without what? Chaitanyam, and that Chaitanyam which is not confined to objects, which is free of all objects, unto that Namaha. Little more we have to see. We'll see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।